I'm Miss Brand from the Smithtown Library, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a DIY photo holder. So for this project, you are going to need a rock. You can find a rock outside. It can be any size you'd like, but you probably don't want it to be much smaller than this one. You're going to want to make sure that the rock that you find has a flat bottom so it sits nice and flat on the table. You're also going to need some paint. I chose two colors of paint for my rock. I chose green and black. You can choose any colors that you like. I'm planning on doing a polka dot design, so I have a paintbrush for my base coat, and I also have a smaller brush for my polka dots. You'll also want some paper plates for your paint and then also for your rock so it has a place to dry. You're going to need some craft wire. This can be jewelry wire. It can be any color that you like. It doesn't have to be copper. It could be silver. You're going to need something to cut that wire with, so you might have to ask an adult for some wire cutters to cut you a length of wire. And some Mod Podge so it gives our rock a nice glossy finish. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my rock. And I'm going to probably want to give it a couple of coats. I really want to make sure that I get my rock entirely covered with the paint. So I'm going to give it a nice thick coat of my green here. And I'm going to want to make sure I get all sides of my rock. So I want to do the bottom, I want to do the sides. It's okay if your fingers get a little messy. Okay, so once you have your rock entirely covered with your base color, you're going to want to set it aside to dry. So once your base coat is dry, then you can begin your design. So like I said, I'm going to do polka dots. So I'm going to take my smaller brush, I'm going to take a little bit of my black paint, and you can do whatever you want with your rock. Mine's a pretty small rock, so I'm just going to do kind of a small polka dot design. That will work best with my rock. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and you're going to repeat your design all over your entire rock, and once you're done, you're going to let it dry. So once you're finished with your design and you've let your rock dry, you're going to add one final layer of Mod Podge to it. This is going to seal your design and it's going to give your rock a nice shine. So I've already poured out a little bit of Mod Podge. You can use another foam brush or a paintbrush, whatever you have at home, and you're just going to cover your entire rock with the Mod Podge. This is going to dry clear, even though it might go on a little white. And you can give it a generous layer. This will also help if, you don't want your rock to chip, you don't want to see your design fade over time, so this will seal it nice. Okay, and then once you're done with your Mod Podge, you're going to let it dry one last time. So for this last part, you're going to need to cut yourself a length of wire. I cut about 12 inches of wire. You might need a little bit more wire depending on how big your rock is. And I have a Sharpie here. You could also use the end of one of your paintbrushes, but you're just going to need something to wrap your wire around. And this is going to create the part of your photo holder that will actually hold your photo. So I'm just going to hold, using my thumb, I'm going to hold my wire down onto my Sharpie, and I'm going to wrap it tightly around my Sharpie like 3 or 4 times. Okay, and then I'm going to just slide it off, and I've created sort of like a spring, and I want to kind of smush them together so that they're tight coils together, just like that. So now it's time to decide how tall you want your photo holder to be. So I probably want mine to be about about that tall, so then when I put it against my rock, I can see how high my photo is going to be held in the air. And now this is the tricky part. So you want to wrap the rest of your wire around your rock so it's secure. So you definitely want to hold down part of your wire with your thumb, and it's okay if it's a little fiddly. It's going to be a little bit. And you're going to wrap it around as many times as you're able to with whatever length of wire you've cut. And then when you get to the end, you want to make sure that you twist the end around your stem. And if you have a pair of pliers, you could also use your pair of pliers to do this. My wire bends pretty easily and it's not that sharp. So there we have it. You have your photo holder. Thank you for joining me today. We hope to see you soon. For more programs and services, please visit the library's website at www.smithlib.org.